You know they say one man's junk is another man's treasure, right? Well, I'm going to talk to you today about my junk and being my treasure on the Raw Life Health Show.
This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.
Hello everybody, it's Paul Neese with the Raw Life Health Show, and today I'm going to be talking more about my compost toilet. I love my compost toilet. It's the throne of my house. You know how every man has a special seat that they love in the house? Well, this seat I love the most. This is my compost toilet where I do most of my business. And today I want to explain to everybody my top 5 reasons for having a compost toilet. And I also want to mention this book, the Human Manure Handbook, is an excellent resource if you're looking to composting human manure and reasons why to do it. And you can get this book at humanmanurehandbook.com, and they also have a free download you can check out on there as well if you just want to read it and you're not ready to purchase it. It's a great book. It has a lot of great information. So I did a brief video previously explaining to everybody how the human compost toilet does not smell at all, and I've proven to people on that. I'll put a link up here to this video that it does not smell at all. And here I am sitting in my bathroom, and you know, most people have a compost toilet because they have a situation where they don't have a choice to have a real toilet. They might be on an RV, or they might be in a house that doesn't have plumbing or something else. Well, I do not live in an RV, and my house certainly has plumbing, but there's still many beneficial reasons to having a compost toilet. And I took many years to research this and experiment with this and study it out, and I finally got it to a point where I feel so comfortable with it. And it's just such a blessing to be able to use one on a regular basis. And here's my top 5 reasons why. My number one reason why, and this is in no particular order, but these are important reasons to me why I have a compost toilet and why I recommend everyone have a compost toilet. Number 1 is it saves water. And we all know about the shortages of water in so many states these days, and how people are told to use less water. Well, I think if the state and the government was real serious about it, they'd encourage more people to get a compost toilet. And some people might say, well, we can't afford a compost toilet. Well, a compost toilet, maybe for under $10, you can get one yourself. This one I built myself, and it's very easy to build, but you can just take a bucket, and that can be your compost toilet as well. And I'll explain that in another video. But basically, it saves water. Yes, each time you flush your toilet, you can use anywhere between 1.5 gallons to 4 or 5 gallons or something like this, depending on the type of toilet you have and what exactly you flush it and how many times you're flushing it. And people just flush their toilet all day long. All day long, they're flushing their toilet for so many different various reasons. And it just wastes so much water. And I would say flushing a toilet is one of the most common ways people waste water. Well, when you have a human manure toilet or a compost toilet, there's no water involved at all. There's no flushing. There's nothing involved. And you know, I do clean the buckets when I'm done with them, but I do that with my well water, so it's completely a water-free bucket. And I go to some bathrooms around the country now, and in the men's urinals, they have water-free urinals now. And they're the highly prized water-free urinals. And there's a note on top of some of them that says this urinal will save hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of gallons of water each year. Thousands of gallons of water each year, because it doesn't use water. You do not need water. And so it's just a great reason to save water. And you can know on the environmental impact of having not enough water or bad water is just a big problem today. So saving water. And I think anyone with a sensible mind would say, well, you can't argue with that reason. If we can save water and not miss it, what's the point of using it, right? So save water. The number 2 reason is it's cleaner, and it's just cleaner on not only the environment, but it just makes more sense. Because if we think about it, when we go in a regular toilet bowl with regular sewage, yes, in many instances, like my house, I have a septic tank, so everything's going into the septic tank. But there are many people that do not have a septic tank, and it goes into the public sewage system. And who knows where that goes? And that goes into a water supply somewhere, whether a local lake, a water contamination unit or somewhere, or even possibly the ocean. Who knows? But it's not sensible or wise or healthy to pump your your feces and your urine and the water that's in your bowl into some form of water somewhere else. So you're now contaminating the water in your bowl, and you're contaminating the water where you're sending it to, and it just is not healthy. It just makes no sense. This is such a clean system where there's no water involved, and the feces, after it's used, goes into a composting bin and it turns into soil. And the only one affected by this is the worms that are eating the contents of the compost bucket. And with them, they'll go to the bathroom, converting my urine and feces into their urine and feces, and then thus making wonderful soil. So it's cleaner. It's cleaner all around. It smells cleaner. There's absolutely no odor. It's cleaner from a standpoint of, you're not flushing your water into a different drinking supply. It's cleaner there. It just in every way it's cleaner. So now, people might say, well, if we have plumbing and if we have a toilet, what is the sense of doing this? And these are the reasons I'm giving you. And they say, so isn't it more work? Well, it's more work, but I'm okay. We're doing a little exercise to save the environment, to save my drinking water and so on. It's not difficult at all. And some people say, well, what do you do with the feces when you're done with it? Well, again, it goes into a composting pile, and that pile goes down by itself. And even in that pile, it doesn't smell because you're covering it with soil, and it turns into soil. Number 3 is, that's another reason. But number 3 is, it's in cases of disaster where a house that normally does have sewage no longer has sewage. What do? And recently we've seen a problem like this with the earthquakes in Haiti. What were the people to do? And it became a tremendous problem of where people would go to the bathroom. And in our country, a long time ago, before we had modern plumbing systems, this was always an issue, is where people would go to the bathroom. And not only people, the animals on the street, where they go to the bathroom and so on. It's just people walking around that I had to be very careful not to step in somebody else's business on the street. Well, we don't have to worry if there's an issue like that. As we'll get in the habit of using this and using it properly, it's something we won't have to worry about any disasters like that in the future. I'm not personally concerned about disasters like that in the future, but I do know if something happens to the local plumbing supply, even though I have a local septic tank, if something happens to my septic tank, I don't have to worry because I'm not using the septic tank anyway. I got a gray water system in my house, and my water from my shower and my sinks go out to my garden, and my water and there's no water in my compost bin. So I'm not worried if something goes wrong like that. So it's worry-free, I guess you could say. Another reason, we could say, the 4th reason is it saves money. So if I'm not using water, I'm saving money because we have to pay for water. If you're on a well water system, you usually have to pay to treat the water. So ultimately it saves money. But it also saves money in other reasons, which is the next reason we'll get up to. But saving money is a wonderful reason to do anything. And it saves money. And then another reason is it's great for gardening. If you're gardening and you compost all the contents that go into your compost bucket, it turns into the highest quality soil, which is so depleted today because there's so many nutrients, especially if you're eating healthy, in your feces that gets composted and turns into thick, beautiful, rich soil that you can regrow again. So you're reusing it, and it's safe because if you know how to compost, you're getting up to a certain temperature where you're not all the pathogens in there being destroyed, and it's turned into healthy soil. So it's going to save you money that way because you don't have to go to the garden store and buy good soil to garden and fill your garden beds with. And then, so those are 5 reasons why I gave you why it's the best way, or the reason why I have a compost toilet. And I'll give you another reason. It's biblical. The Bible says that we should take our feces and bury it outside the camp. And essentially, when you're composting your manure, that's what you're doing. And you're burying it outside your camp. I have a compost bin outside my house, which is my camp. And I buried it in there, and it turns into compost. So that's your bonus reason. So 6 reasons why I have a compost toilet, and I recommend you have one also. I'm going to be making more videos about this and gardening and just how great it is to have a compost toilet. But look up the book, You Manure, the You Manure Handbook. Check it out and go to youmanurehandbook.com. And if you have any comments or questions, post them below the video. And remember what I said when I started this video. One man's junk is another man's treasure. So I got my treasure here, and don't throw away your treasure either. All right? Until then, everybody have a great day and a great raw life.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.